I start Micdee? Well, Micdee started out of a need to help designers earn better. That was more or less what it was. I used to work at a firm where the pay wasn't all that, but it was good for a young architect. So I had colleagues that were not doing well regarding the jobs. We had very funny salary rates. I remember a friend that was offered 40,000 as a salary. It was ridiculous. And I knew there was work out there because I was getting like offers. And so at the point I started applying to jobs, actually for the fun of it. And then I'll apply, get the job. I don't want to name the companies, get the job, get an offer. It was usually higher than what I was earning at that point. And then, but like I had no interest in moving there. And then I'll tell my friends, or apply to this company, apply to that company. And then they go there and they're like, oh no, there's no vacancy. And it was a case of like, okay, so it's either, there were two problems. One, firms were not paying enough. And two, people could not communicate the value they were bringing to the table. And I think that's why I believe why firms could not pay enough, because I was privy to a lot of information, was because firms were not earning enough. And so I was, okay, let me try and set up something. I know how to communicate my value as a freelancer. Would I be able to communicate it as a company? Can I pull up the same stunts? And so that's where Micdee started from. It started from the need to help designers earn more. Like I see a future where designers can stand alongside the biggest consulting firms in the world, the Big Four, the KPMGs, the PwCs, on projects and earn similar rates. Right now, the gap is a very wide gap. But that's where the dream for Micdee came from. What sets us apart? I think I could go on and list the cliche things: excellence, integrity. Everybody has core values. But I think what really sets us apart is our strategy. So predominantly we work with businesses. Predominantly those are like our targets markets. Work with businesses, and why we can do this is we understand what their bottom line is, and we target making sure we're making positive impacts on their bottom line, making sure there's a substantial ROI. So for example, if a company is applying to us, if a company comes to us and then you have an office designer, your budget is 50 million. The business owner has an idea of what it stands to gain from it. But we also understand that 50 million is an investment and it must be well spent, and there must be facts and figures and direct data that communicates to how this company will make this money back. So it's not just about colors. At Micdee, we say we don't play the beauty game. I mean that in every sense of the word. Because it's not about, aesthetics is a byproduct, not the main product. The main product is the strategy, because that's what we understand our clients. And that's really what we bring it to the table. So when we're having conversations, it's less about what color would you like, and more about how do your people work, how more efficient can we make them be, how can we make your clients see competence in you, how can we make your processes more efficient, how can we reduce lag time, how can we reduce time wasted. Those are the kind of questions we ask, those are the kind of problems we try to solve. And I think that sets us apart, because when you put us in a room with another interior design architectural firm, you start to see that the questions we ask are very different. And it shows that our thinking process is more aligned to the executives and founders of the businesses we're talking to. Basically, we've achieved some progress on a small scale. We work with quite a number of companies, multinationals that have validated the work we do. We've done work for the PWCs, mutual benefits, UACs, by, well, not directly, KPMG, MTN, and it kind of shows that there is a market for what we do. So really, the vision of Micdee is expanding this market and targeting areas beyond Lagos, beyond Nigeria, and expand. Well, first of all, is expanding to West Africa, because we see that in Africa, yes, there's a lot of talents, there's a lot of potential, but a lot of it is wasted because people are not efficient enough. And we do know that Africa is, we like to say that Africans are entrepreneurs because we're always thinking about to make money 24/7. You think about the average African is probably poor, probably doesn't earn enough at his day job, and he has a side gig. So he's thinking of work 24/7. And so the future of Micdee is designing the future of work for these people, designing efficiency in work. So now, when you say the future of work, usually people think of people that own offices, people that you work from a desk, you go to a particular building. And then we're realizing that the future keeps expanding. The future, as we know it, is expanding. A lot more professions are not the brick and mortar professions. A lot more creatives are coming out. And so the idea is designing a future for those people. How do you design a future for a vlogger? How do you design a future for I don't know what they call them, a TikTok user? How do you design a future for an influencer? How do you design a future for a movie star? How do you ensure that whatever medium they are making money, how do you ensure that they make more money and they communicate their value more? And so that's where we started thinking of ways to expand our target audience, expand our market. And that's where we started thinking of, okay, so how do we target businesses, and that's on the big scale. But it's not really about the businesses, and it's more about the people that are in those businesses. Because we realize that it might be tough to reach one person, but if you design an office for a softcom, you meet 100 people at once. You design an office for a piggy vest, you meet 30 people at once. Every single person that walks into that space is influenced and inspired by that space. So you're reaching a larger market by targeting specific people. But now I want to go deep down, because there is that driver somewhere that might never walk into a piggy vest office. There is that vlogger somewhere that might never go into a PWC office. So how do you design their future? How do you make them more efficient? How do you make them earn more? They say we're the poverty capital of the world. How do we change that? What steps do we take? So those are the questions we're asking. We're thinking of product lines. We're thinking of solutions that cater to individuals. And really that's where the future is in 5-10 years. You come to Africa and you say, what's the future of work for this profession that doesn't exist? What's the future of work for developers? What's the future of work for product managers? And Micdee is the answer to that question. So that's more or less our future.